and welcome back to Granny Dorothy Visits. Today's topic is The Curriculum is Patience, and the first reading from Wayne Dyer's Everyday Visit. Refuse to let an old person move into your body. And the second and last reading for today is from Norman Vincent Peale's wonderful book, The Power of Positive Thinking. Retiree gets reactivated. The following incident, which I wrote about in The Senior Power, a magazine edited and published by Dr. Kenneth Berg, happened some years ago in the stockroom of Crocs and Brentano's bookstore in Chicago, where I was autographing copies of my book, The Power of Positive Thinking. To my surprise, Adolph Kroc, the founder and then recently retired president of the company, came in and began helping me. "Haven't anything else to do," he grumbled. He told me that he tried to stay away from the store, but decades of habit drew him back. Everyone treated him fine, he explained, and his son Carl, now president, always acted glad to see him. But he was sensitively aware that he was out of it. Didn't really belong anymore. "Guess I'm useless," he declared sadly. "So I'm glad to serve you like a stockroom boy." Then suddenly he asked, "About this positive thinking, why don't you write a book on retirement?" "Oh, that is not my field. I really am not adequately informed on the subject," I replied. Then I turned the question back on him. "Why don't you write such a book now that you are retired?" "Not me," he answered quickly. "I don't write books. I sell them." We went on for a few minutes in the silence, broken only by the stacking of volumes and the scratching of my pen. Excuse me. "Okay," he said. "Perhaps you can take a detached attitude toward the trauma of retirement and express an objective point of view. Give me some advice. If you were in my position, what would you do?" "What should I do? My health is good, and I'm not short on energy, and I like to do things that count for something. But here I am on a plateau in my life from which I see no excitement or even usefulness." "Well, now look," I replied. "Anything I say is bound to be off the cuff, and remember that I'm no expert on the subject of retirement. Yet I do have some knowledge of what others in like positions have done, and we can perhaps learn from their experience." I told him that in my opinion, it is wise to play down the word retirement and to emphasize instead the word and concept readjustment. Retirement somewhat suggests a dropout status, a finished state. Readjustment, on the other hand, indicates continuity of activity, though in a different capacity, and perhaps in an entirely new form. An old Korean man once told me that in his country, people think of beginning a new and different life at 60 years. They assume a new birth, gearing themselves for a new activity. "I became a resurrected person at 60, my Korean friend declared, and have been living as a new man ever since." Thus, there is no reason why anyone in health and strength need acquiesce to the idea so generally and supinely accepted today that an arbitrary set retirement age must necessarily mean an ipso facto disqualification from new and fresh forms of useful activity. No person at any age needs to remain on an uninspiring level of accomplishment. Therefore, I suggested to this unhappy, retired executive that he practiced the principle of adaptability. Say goodbye to his old business, sell his home, and move to a different section of the country. See himself once again as he was at the start, an immigrant boy arriving in a new land and looking for opportunities. As soon as you get settled in your new home, join a church and tell the minister you want to help him. Get in there and get involved. Then hunt up a political club and say you want to be an active worker. Get into a service club and work on its committees. Join the Chamber of Commerce and become a leader. Go all out and you'll get outside yourself. And, I added, forget all about this bookstore except for your pension check. Practice the spiritual principle suggested in the words, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. There was, of course, nothing unique about this advice, but the result was unique in that the erstwhile book dealer took the advice seriously and acted upon it. And how? In the small West Coast city where he settled, he became a real estate dealer, a banker, a service club leader, a chairman of the local hospital board, and head of the Chamber of Commerce. As one local man put it, whence came this young old Lakshmanvar, this revitalized ball of fire? And he was still going strong 20 years later. Practically the only time he returned to the old home city was for the funeral of some contemporary who acquiesced in retirement and became a dropout, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Mr. Kroc practiced positive thinking in retirement with positive results. He discovered that he was not through, far from it. He tapped some inner resource never before discovered and brought forth extra capacities he did not even know he possessed. By stimulating the forces of his personality into revitalized action, he created a new and exciting life. The enthusiasms and motivations which had made him a leader in business and community were re-employed in the retired situation. He became an inspiring example of how to keep the positive principle going, and vigorously. Very good, eh? Because, you know, sometimes people think, oh, when they're old and there's no more use, and well, there is. We have so much inside still to share with others and help others, and still to grow and to learn all the time. We're learning every day, and how wonderful that is. So I wish for you to have a happy life and a full life using your juices, as Dr. Gladys McGarry said. And I send you my love. Until next week, bye for now.